What it is, what it do, cyber world, it is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It, ashsaidit.com, ashsaidit.com. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. I appreciate you guys so very much for all of your love, all of your support. Well over 1,000 episodes. Yes, 500,000 streams worldwide. 46 countries around the globe, and we continue to grow. So I appreciate you guys so very much. Today is a special day. We are joined by author and serial entrepreneur, Heather Younger. Hey, Heather.
Hello there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Awesome. You know what? It's one of those things, we can always try to complain about stuff, right? But
yes.
Then we're blessed to wake up.
Okay, so. Exactly. We took a breath somewhere. But yes,
yep.
Definitely a blessing. So Heather, let our audience know, where are you from? Where do you represent?
I'm actually originally from Columbus, Ohio, and moved from Columbus to Las Vegas, Nevada, when I was about 9, and grew up in Las Vegas. I know most people are like, "What? You grew up in Las Vegas and you're still normal?" I live now in Colorado.
Oh, gotcha. So, growing up as a kid, were you always into writing?
No, I wouldn't say when I was a kid. So I probably started writing poetry, funny enough, when I was maybe like teenage years. And it was more of a way to, I guess, vent and let off a little steam. So I started to write poetry, and my parents and my grandparents were like, "Wow, you're really good at this." But I didn't really think much of it. I kind of put the pen down for a while after that.
Gotcha. So as you were growing up and you were kind of finding your voice, what was the pivotal moment for you to really amplify that?
Well, it's interesting. So my story is really how I got to become an author is based on my background. So I'm from a interracial and interfaith marriage. My mom is white, dad is black, and mom is Jewish, and I was raised that way, Reformed Jewish person, and looking like I do. And it was a very interesting one because my mom's family really was not happy about my mom and dad's union at all, and they made us all pretty aware of it. It wasn't a secret, but I was kind of a secret. I was a secret in a big way from her friends that were out in the world, and it was kind of like I was a stamp of failure versus success early on, but being in that kind of family made me realize that in order to kind of stand out, I had to learn how to have my own voice and use my own voice and communicate effectively and educate myself. And so that's really, I think the thing that amplified my need to have that voice was just being in a family where I wasn't recognized, appreciated, really valued for just being who I was.
How are you able to deal with being a child, a biracial child? How are you able to deal with the racial tensions in school?
It was always interesting. I think because I did grow up with a white mother and a black father, I kind of had a thicker skin around that, and plus I was usually like one of the very few. You know how it is. People of color are usually one of the very few, particularly if you start to advance in different parts of your life, like going to law school, for example. There were very few folks that looked like me, and so I think I was just used to being the person who looked a little different than the other people that were there. So I think that thickness of skin is what was helpful for me.
Gotcha. And as you were progressing, in your life, and different doors were opening up and things were happening for you, what was your moment of enlightenment? What was that moment that you said to yourself, you know what, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
It's interesting. So I went to law school. I came to Colorado to go to law school, and I realized pretty quickly that it wasn't for me. But one thing I did realize is that kind of being the voice for the voiceless, advocating for those who can't advocate for themselves or don't want to out of fear. And so after I got out of that, I started to work in customer-facing roles where I had to represent the customer to the organizations that they were buying from. And I realized in that place where when you're sitting around the table internally and folks are talking about customers, the customers aren't present. And the same thing would be for employees. They're not at the table. And somebody needed to be their voice at the table. And I realized pretty early on that I had to be me.
Awesome sauce. All right, so you guys hang tight with me one moment. We're going to take a brief break and we're going to come back. We're going to talk more with Heather, and you guys got some great stuff coming up. So hang tight. We'll be right back. You spend 1/3 of your life sleeping. Why not make it comfortable with Casper? Ash Brown here from Ash Said It Daily. Casper products are cleverly designed to mimic human curves, providing supportive comfort for all body types. When I'm touring around the world, there's always one important detail missing: my Casper bed. I can't wait to get home for a restful night's sleep. There's nothing like it. The experts at Casper work tirelessly to make a quality sleep surface that cradles your natural geometry in all the right places. The prices are affordable because Casper cuts out the middleman and sells directly to you. They're all designed, developed, and assembled right here in the U.S. Don't forget about Casper's 100-night risk-free Sleep On It trial. Get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/ash and using ASH, A-S-H, at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Get your Casper mattress for a restful night. Visit casper.com/ash. Promo code ASH. Welcome back to the Ash Said It Daily podcast show. I appreciate you guys so very much. We're talking with Heather Younger, and we're talking life. We're going to talk about life experiences and things that we've gone through. Now, Heather, how did Customer Fanatix come about?
Well, actually, about 3.5 years ago, I was laid off from a job. But before the layoff happened, I reached a crossroad where I realized I needed to be working on employee engagement. I needed to, again, be the voice, but now not for customers, but for employees. Mm-hmm. And so when I was laid off, I said, well, I'm going to start writing. And I started to write a lot on LinkedIn, and people started to come to me and ask me if I could help them with their business. And finally, I'm like, well, wow, if people are coming to me, I better incorporate this thing and make this, legitimate. And that's what I did. I just created Customer Fanatix based off of the organic need.
Gotcha. And the book project. What was that project? What was that process like for you?
Painful.
I'd imagine.
It was painful because here's the thing. It's like we all are like human beings, and we all have lives, and we have multiple things going on at one time. And I have 4 children, ages 7 to 14. At that time, I was working a full-time job. I had Customer Fanatix working as a side hustle. And I was working, and I was trying to create this book. Mm-hmm. And I had a chunk of content I'd already created ahead of time. But I needed to, because I was taking a pivot into just the employee-facing stuff, I needed to create a lot more content to fill in the book and get to the end point. Mm-hmm. So it was all the details were driving me batty, to be honest. But when it was done, it felt good.
Yes. So would you say that was your proudest moment as far as your business and as far as opening up your voice to the world?
I would say it's definitely one of my proudest moments. I mean, it was a dream fulfilled. When you see yourself in a distance and I'm going to be at this place, and sometimes you take big steps and leaps to get there, and sometimes there's small baby steps. But I knew I was always going to get there. So I'm going to be what they call a serial author. I'll be writing a book a year. It's my goal. And now that I know how to do it, and then I did it on my own and worked with some contractors to do it, now I know I'll keep doing it. But I would say another thing was just stepping out on my own, leaving the full-time job, having 4 kids and private school. I took that step out on faith to say, you know what, the message has to get out there. The work that I do matters. It has an impact. And I just did it. So I think those are kind of the 2 proudest moments so far.
Gotcha. What would you say what is your advice for anyone today that is struggling either in a job, in life, things are just going to happen, but they are discouraged and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, I would say keep focused, affirmations or doing some kind of poster or little notes all over the house where you can continue to see the thing you want to be. You want to move in the direction that you want to be. You can rebrand yourself at any time. You have a choice, whether you want to go in one direction or another. You have a choice on which direction that is. Sometimes we feel trapped, like we're not able to get out of one place or another. But once in our minds, we change our minds first about who we are, where we're going to be, and what our capabilities are. Then we start to move in that direction. The universe starts to open itself up and lets us be the person that we want to be.
Absolutely. Heather Younger. Heather, let everyone know the best way to get in contact with you.
Email heather@customerfanatix.com is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. You can check me out on LinkedIn. Heather Younger is my, at Heather Younger basically is the name. And on Twitter is the same way, it's actually at Customer Fanatix. So those are the ways to do it. But I would say email is probably the best.
Email will work. Perfection. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Heather. Much more success to you 2018 and beyond. Good positive vibrations.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, and thank you guys for downloading
Have fun,
this show. Yes, thank you so much for downloading this show. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.